Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video. Today I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently, and I want to do a test run for a new series that I'm thinking about starting. And basically what I want to do is at the end of every week, I want to showcase some of the losses using the different strategies that I use in that week. And the reason I want to do this, guys, is because you might watch my videos and watch my strategies and then try them out yourselves and have a different level of success. And the thing that I want to point out is, when I'm trying out these new strategies, a lot of the time the first couple of battles that I do are actually losses and I make a ton of mistakes. And so doing this kind of video, I'll be able to point out some of the mistakes that I made and how I learned from them. But guys, let me know in the comments below whether or not you like this kind of video, if you find it educational, and if it should become a weekly series, because your feedback is super important to me. But let's go ahead and open up some of these chests here, and then we're going to go into some replays. So as always, starting with these free chests, and I said this in my previous video, at this point in the game I'm really just looking for gold and epics. Everything else is just kind of waiting for that kind of stuff here. Let's see, we got a minion horde, barbarian hut, and finally barbarians, and a mirror card. I don't really use the mirror too much. I'm just really looking for a baby dragon or a princess, stuff like that. Mortar and spear goblins. And finally we have here some gold, as always, mini P.E.K.K.A, and some Royal Giant. Alright guys, let's go into some replays. So here we are with the first replay, guys. Now this one was using the Golem and the 3 Musketeer combo. One of the strategies that I've been having a lot of fun with right now, but it is super risky, especially facing people that are higher level than you, because their fireballs will kill your Musketeers in one hit, whereas if they're even level, it won't. But right at the start here, he drops a pump. Unfortunately, I don't have my pump down, so I'm going to do something that's super risky. I'm going to start out with the 3 Musketeers right off the bat, drop the Rage spell, and he has a counter with the Princess and the Wizard. But fortunately for me, my Musketeers are able to get in there and get a crazy amount of damage. The first 30 seconds of the game, and one of his towers is already down to 52 health. But now he's got a strong counter push coming here, and of course both of his troops do strong AoE damage, and I don't have anything to defend against that push, so I have to wait for him to lock onto my tower, use my tower as a tank there, and then drop my troops afterwards to take him out. So right now, things aren't looking too good. He's got a pump down and an Ice Wizard coming up here. I haven't even got one pump down. Now he drops his second pump, and what that means is in late game, he's going to have a ton of elixir and a super strong push, and in late game I won't have any elixir to defend, considering 2 of my main cards are super high cost. So right here, I'm going to go ahead, drop down my 3 Musketeers once again, and they're going to be able to go in there and hopefully finish out that tower. Yeah, that tower is done. But of course, he has those 2 pumps down, and I've said this before, late game is super important, and you can come back from a 1 tower deficit pretty easily. So here he goes, he drops that Dark Prince. Dark Prince takes care of those Musketeers. I'm going to drop my Golem to try and distract that, but this is another mistake that I make here, guys. I dropped that Golem way too close to that tower, and that means that Princess and the Dark Prince will be able to do some splash damage and take out that tower. And right here, I drop a Fireball, which was kind of a mistake, because now I'm down elixir, and that Golem wasn't really worth defending, because it's not really going to get in there and do any damage at all anyways. So now I've got an Ice Wizard to worry about. I've only got 6 elixir. He's going to do a pretty strong push here. Now I make the mistake of dropping a pump down with only 1 minute left to go. Really big mistake, because the pump takes up like 1 minute and 10 seconds to actually pay itself off. So here he goes with a strong push. I use that Fireball there to try and just take out whatever I can. And really, he's got a super strong push, and I don't have the elixir to defend here. He's got 2 Ice Wizards out and a Princess. My Spirit Goblins are going to be able to take out that Princess, but now he's got 2 Ice Wizards that I have to worry about. I'm going to go ahead and drop my 3 Musketeers once again to try and take him out. But his Wizard is going to do some crazy damage to those 3 Musketeers. His Dark Prince is going to come in and finish that off. So that was 9 elixir kind of wasted right there. And so he's got a huge advantage here. I've got a cannon down. I dropped my skeletons to hopefully distract that Prince. But once again, he's got that Princess up. The Princess, guys, is one of the cards that I'm having a hard time to counter right now. I just don't have the arrows in my deck. I have the Fireball instead. And so it is a elixir loss anytime I use the Fireball to take care of the Princess. So now we're into overtime. I make the mistake there of dropping the 3 Musketeers while that Wizard was still alive. So that was 9 elixir spent there. My Musketeers get killed in 1 shot from that Dark Prince. And he's got a push coming back at me now. I dropped the cannon. He's got a P.E.K.K.A, a full health P.E.K.K.A. I don't really have anything to defend against here. I dropped my skeletons, but of course, like I said, the Princess is in there, and she's able to take care of any of the small health troops that I try and drop to distract that P.E.K.K.A. I dropped that Golem out of desperation to try and distract there. I use the Fireball to try and take care of anything that I can. But like I said, he had those pumps down early game. Now he's just doing a crazy strong push. He's got 2 princes, a P.E.K.K.A, and an Ice Wizard. I dropped that electric pump. I'm really just trying to distract as long as I can with 15 seconds left. But unfortunately, I dropped a good game there because it's really not looking good for me. 10 seconds left, and he's able to get in there and take out my tower for a 2-crown victory. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead to the next replay. So this next replay, guys, was using the Royal Giant strategy that I used in my previous video. But right at the start here, I don't have the electric pump in my starting hand, which really sucks. I really prefer to have that in my starting hand, just so I can get the elixir flowing. Now right here, he tries to be super aggressive and go in with the Hog Rider, Goblins, and the free spell. I'm going to counter that with the cannon to distract the Hog Rider and my minion horde. Now the thing is he has the princess. Like I said in my previous replay, I have a hard time countering that princess because the princess versus the arrows, both of them will take care of a minion horde. But with the princess, it has to be countered, whereas the arrows don't have to be countered. So that kind of sucks. But right here, he's going to go ahead and drop down some barbarians with that princess. So I'm going to be super quick, drop down a fireball and take out that princess and all those barbarians. That was a pretty strong elixir advantage for myself. So I'm going to go ahead, use that advantage to go ahead and drop down an elixir pump and get some elixir flowing here. And right now, I'm at 5 elixir, he's at 6. We're both just really going to wait until we get to full elixir before we make our next move. Now, one thing you guys have to consider when you're playing your battles is your starting hand actually has a huge impact on the gameplay. If you start out with a weak starting hand and they start out with a strong starting hand, it can really put you in a defensive position right at the start there. And if they keep going with the aggressive style and keep pushing, it really sucks when you don't have a strong starting hand. So you have to kind of take that into consideration if you lose a battle. Maybe you lost because you had a pretty weak starting hand and they had a really strong starting hand. So right here, he was able to go in there and get a pretty strong amount of damage done to that left tower. I'm going to go ahead and drop a second pump down, try to get that elixir flowing. But he has that princess. I'm going to use my cannon to shoot across the river, take out the princess. That was a 3-for-3 elixir trade, so pretty even there. I used the Valkyrie there to take care of those archers. Guys, the Valkyrie is actually really strong right now. I still see people in the forums complaining that she's pretty weak. But I actually think she's really strong, and you should really consider putting her in your deck. For 4 elixir, she does a pretty good job, has some pretty decent health, and does some AoE damage. He's going to go in with that Hog Rider once again, and the minion horde in the back. I'm going to use my goblins to take care of that Hog Rider. He's not going to get any hits off on my tower, and my tower and my spear goblins are going to be able to take care of that minion horde. So right now, things are looking pretty okay, but of course he's got that princess behind his tower, which is going to take care of any of the low health troops that I drop down. He's going to distract my Valkyrie there, and that pack of barbarians is able to take care of both of my Royal Giants. Guys, the Royal Giant, even though we got a buff in the Wednesday's update, I still feel like it's really weak for 6 elixir. It just dies way too fast when it gets to the enemy tower there. So he's going to go ahead with a really strong push, drop the Hog Rider, and I don't have any elixir to defend here. So I drop a good game. With 18 seconds left, there's really no chance of me coming back here. So I'm going to go ahead and let him get the 3-crown victory. There's really no point to draw it out if I'm going to lose anyways. Maybe he needs his crown chest, so I'm going to go and help him out and let him get the 3-crown victory. Let's go ahead to the next replay, guys. So here we are with the last replay, guys. This was using the Witch Valkyrie strategy that I used a couple of videos ago. But right at the start here, he is at level 9, which in this particular battle had a huge impact on the outcome, as you'll see later on. But right at the start here, I don't have my pump out to get some elixir flowing. So I dropped those spear goblins to try and go in there and get some damage on his tower, but he has that cannon to defend. Now right here, I kind of make a mistake by playing too defensively. He dropped a pump and a cannon, and I got ahead with a counter with my own cannon, which was a huge mistake. I should have tried to push instead of just playing defensively, because that cannon is going to be pretty low on health by the time he does his attack. So right here, I go in with my Valkyrie and my Witch on the right-hand side. He has a Witch of his own, so my Valkyrie should tear through those skeletons pretty easily. Now, I dropped a Fireball there, which was a huge waste. I just really overextended there, spent way too much elixir on that attack, and didn't get any damage done to his tower. Now, he's got a Witch coming back at me with some skeletons. I'm not too worried about it because it's pretty low in health, but he uses this opportunity to drop a second pump. Now, I dropped my first pump down, but what that means is in late game, guys, he is going to have more elixir than me, so we will have to kind of take that into consideration here. So here we are, guys. We're waiting for elixir to get back to 10 before we do anything. Once again, I go ahead and drop down a cannon of my own because he drops a golem way in the back. Now, the mistake I make here is I drop that cannon too far off center, so I really don't think it's going to distract that golem. So right now, I'm going to try and do a counter push on the left-hand side, and make him kind of decide whether he wants to defend a tower or back up his golem. So I got my Valkyrie and my Witch going up there. He has a really strong push here with the baby dragon and the golem. Now the problem here, guys, is on the right-hand side, I used that minion horde to take out that the golem, but he had his baby dragon backing him up, and the baby dragon was able to take care of that minion horde pretty easily. And my whole push on the left-hand side was taking out with a poison spell, so that kind of sucked there. So right now he's got a pretty strong push on the right-hand side. His baby dragon there is actually able to take up my tower. So that kind of sucked. I made a huge mistake there, deciding to go in on the counter push on the left-hand side. I should have just defended the right-hand side with all the elixir I had. So here we go, guys. I'm down a tower here. He's going to go in on the left-hand side with his golem. Now, one thing you guys have to kind of take into consideration when you're playing is there are such things as strong counter decks. If somebody's playing with a strong counter deck to your deck, it is really hard to win. This game is very much like rock, paper, and scissors. Right on the right hand side though, guys, I want to go back to the replay here. I've got a really strong push going on here with the minion horde, the Valkyrie, and all of my goblins like that. They're able to go in there and get a crazy amount of damage done to the right hand tower. And the reason I was able to do that was I was able to do a counter push again because he dropped that golem and invested on the left hand side. And I waited for him to waste that poison spell on the left hand side before I went in on the right hand side. But take a look at this, guys. We got 5 seconds left here. I drop a fireball. His tower is down to 150 health. And that fireball, if he had been at an equal level to me, would have taken out his tower, and we would have went into overtime, and maybe I would have been able to win it. But who knows? Anyways, that was another 1 crown loss for myself. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you watching it. Please let me know in the comments below if you like this kind of video, if I should do more of them. And if you want to see some more Clash Royale stuff, make sure to subscribe. I'll be putting out new videos every single day. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.